Hello guys, welcome back to another video, and following on from the terrible success of the Alphard video, I decided we would do another GT7 Tune Setup. Now, the reason I'm saying that about the Alphard video was because, as we all know, it wasn't very professionally done. I completely forgot to press save on the race that I did round Le Mans. However, that's for that video. We're on about this video today. So this is a Subaru Impreza, the STI sedan from 2004. It's got a livery on that I quite like, and the reason for me doing this build is because yet again I was driving around in this car and I thought, you know what, I think this is a very nice car to drive, and I thought I would do another tune setup on it. Well, another tune setup in general, but I have done a few tunes on this before that I haven't done videos on, due to the fact that when the physics changes came out, they were all completely ruined and I still haven't gone back to tuning them. So this is the Subaru Impreza sedan. As we can see up here, it says that running, you know, 340 horses. It's quite light. It's still got four-wheel drive. This is a race car that I've decided to tune as a track car, because I built this car as a track day car. Unlike the Alphard video, this is designed to be a more realistic build and approachable. It's also a bit cheaper than the Alphard was, as we're not using an engine swap. The livery you may recognise from somewhere else on another tune setup video for this car. We're using different tunes though. I just like the look of this livery. The livery, you may recognise it if you are die-hard GT fans, because this is the Subaru Impreza GT300 car livery. But you know, the livery, as with the Alphard, it doesn't matter what livery you go for. But if you are interested in this livery, it's somewhere in the thingy, in the showcase. So sorry, I've got a really bad cough. Anyway, we'll continue on with the build. So you do need the wide body on this as well. I shall mention that before we get into the tune. You do need the wide body option. Now, in the sports section, we need the weight reduction 1. The club sports section, we need the weight reduction 2. The power restrictor and the ballast are needed. We need the fully customizable computer and the fully customizable diff and the weight reduction stage 3 from the semi-racing. Onto the racing, well, then we have the anti-lag system, the racing silencer, the racing filter, the racing brake kit. Again, you can use soldered, drilled or carbon. Brake pads, racing exhaust manifold, customizable suspension, flywheel, torque vectoring diff, fully customizable tram, and racing tyres of your choice. I've just put softs on there, but again, it doesn't matter. Into the extreme section, you will want to get yourself a hydraulic handbrake and a steering angle adapter. And from the ultimate section, you can opt to have the carbon prop shaft if you so choose to have it. I've had it to make it more feel like a customizable race car. Also, the tune setup that I have got inspired from also has got a carbon prop, but I've also decided to go for it because, well, you know, it's going to up the PP. So moving on to the tuning then. Obviously, you have your preferred racing tyres. Now, I will mention as well, whilst we're here, that if you do have a look here, it says that the points are 663.05. You could, again, not to mention it again, but you could tune this for a Le Mans, but it works perfectly well in any other race, and it's just a really fun car to drive. This isn't meant to be some groundbreaking machine like the Alphard was. This is a fun car. So, on to the suspension then. We have 110 on the front and 120 on the rear. We have, for the anti-roll, 5 on the front and 5 on the rear. For the damping ratio compression, we have 25 on the front and rear, and we have 45 on front and rear for the expansion. The natural frequency is 3.2, 3.20 on the front and rear. Negative camber is 3 degrees on the front and 0.5 on the rear. The toe angle is a 0.10 in, and then there is none on the back. For the differential on the front, it's 30 and 5 on the rear. The acceleration sensitivity is 30 on the front and 5 on the rear. The braking sensitivity is 40 on the front and 5 on the rear. The torque vectoring center diff is 50/50. Now, in the tune setup that I did take inspiration from, I do believe that he did have it on 595, but to be honest, you know, that was more based on an actual GT300 car than this. This is more of a, you know, a track day car, and the normal one is four-wheel drive. I thought it would make sense to keep that. However, if you think that the rear-wheel drive would be better for you, then go for it. Moving on to the aerodynamics, you want 200 max on the front, and for the rear you want 340. Again, we want to maximise the downforce here for this track day car, because one thing I have noticed with this car, it particularly often when you don't necessarily do much with the downforce, it can be a bit slippery. Maybe if you are a different driver to who I am, you might find that differently. I don't know. But if you want to make it as grippy as possible, that's what you want to do. ECU 100, ballast, we don't need that. The only reason I selected ballast is, as I said, if you want to G-tune it in any way, or potentially up-tune it. That's the option there. The transmission's on 310, which at the start I was thinking is pretty high. I believe the guy in the video had it on 310, or it might have been 290, I can't remember now. But this one works best for me. Again, if you think a different one works better for you, then go for that. And that's it. Obviously, for the individual pieces, we can see what we have fitted. We can also see what we've installed on here. Obviously, just take a quick note of that if you want to have a greater look at these. So that's it for the build. Now, I have actually recorded a race for this. Believe it or not, I am so godly. Unlike yesterday, I actually decided to save my video. So let's watch it here and see the car in action. So as we can see here, the car we are in Mount Panorama, obviously also known as Bathurst. I never know how to pronounce that right, but I think that's how it's right. It's in Australian track, obviously I'm sure we're all familiar. This is actually my favourite track in the game, by the way as well. As you can see, we are doing the Japanese four-wheel drive challenge. This is just the best event to use to test or to just drive around in your new tuned car. That's obviously four-wheel drive and Japanese. It's a really nice car. I think you guys are gonna quite like it. The car, one thing that you will need to be careful of in this car is to not treat it like it's, you know, a full monster. The thing with the Evo builds compared to the Subarus is I find the Evos personally to be more I don't know, applicable to a high-end engine, whereas I find that the Imprezas / WRXs are not as into that. But that just might be me. But regardless, this is the build. We're already in first place and we're not even a lap in. As you can see here, we are doing quite well. The car's really nice to drive on this really good track. It's fast. I can't actually recall the top speed, but I think it's like 170 or something in it. It'll get the job done. On most tracks, you're really not going to be doing that top speed very much anyway. And even if you are, you'll absolutely demolish anyone in the corners. The engines are so nice on this. For some reason I'm going on the grass here. I literally have no idea why I was going on the grass. I think I was doing something actually. I did this earlier today, by the way, so I don't actually remember what I was doing. Anyway, so we are getting on to the finish line here. There we are, we've done that, we're on lap 2. However, we are just going to end it there, as you've seen the car now. So I hope you enjoyed this build. Make sure to like and subscribe, because it would really mean a lot. And if you enjoyed the build, obviously comment what you think of it. If you find that there's something that you think is drastically better, make sure to comment that down, even though, let's be honest, who's going to comment on this anyway? So yeah, I hope you enjoy the car, I hope you enjoy the build. Don't know when we're going to do another one of these. I have no idea what to do next. I think, actually thinking about it, I may have a build actually ready to do, but I'm not sure if it's one that is that ready yet. I'm gonna have to do some testing. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you later.